Hey VC, this is Harvey of Spin the Black Circle. Hope everyone is well and doing good things. So this is a part road trip, part vinyl haul finds video. So I've been to 3 shops over the last few days. The first is Slow Century Records in Solihull, which is kind of South Birmingham in the West Midlands. So that's the road trip where I will walk up to the shop and show you inside the store. Really nice owner there, and a really nice ambience to the shop. And then the second part of the haul, although it's not part of the road trip videos, I'll show you what I bought from Bridge Records 2.0, again here in the West Midlands. Their stock is just getting better and better. And I will do a road trip video kind of showing you the shop ASAP. Then the third shop I went to is my very, very local record store in the West Midlands, which is Psychotron Records, and what I still consider to be the best record store in the West Midlands, in my opinion. So without further ado, let's go to the road trip part, which is Slow Century Records in Solihull. This is a short road trip to Slow Century Records in Solihull, about 20-22 miles from where I live. First time I'll have been to Slow Century Records. It's quite an interesting week because I was meant to be somewhere much warmer this week, outside of the UK. I won't say where because I don't want to negatively impact their tourist trade, but it was an island that's quite close to where the current war in the Middle East is happening. So didn't think, personal view, and others would take a different decision, but I didn't think it was a good thing to fly my wife and 2 kids somewhere that's at least in the vicinity of a war zone. So I find myself at home on a staycation, but every cloud has a silver lining, right? And I can now go off on a leisurely trip this afternoon to Slow Century Records in Solihull. When I get to the other side, I'll walk you to where the shop is. We'll have a look at the outside of the shop. If I can, I'll film some of the stock inside, if the owner doesn't mind. But obviously, we'll have a look through any haul if I do buy something when I get home later. So with that, I'll see you when I get to Solihull and approaching Slow Century Records. Bye. Okay, so I'm safely parked up in Solihull. It's actually Noel in Solihull, which is a really nice town or village in Solihull. A nice place to come on a day like this. There's pubs, restaurants. So yeah, it's so far so good, and now I'll make my way towards the shop. Okay, so now coming towards Slow Century Records. It's actually next to 2 very nice places. There's this what looks like a microbrewery pub in Noel, and then this organic coffee shop, so a cafe named Viola. So let's have a look at the outside. This is Slow Century Records. Very nice outside area there. It's been open for less than a year, I think. It's clearly supporting record store day, hence the segment there, but I believe it sells both used and new vinyl. So let's take a look. Okay, VC, so what did I buy across 3 record stores? Slow Century Records, we've just been inside. Bridge Records 2.0, also here in the West Midlands, and my beloved Psychotron Records, also here in the West Midlands. So the first thing that I picked up, and I'm really excited to have this, I'm getting closer and closer to completing my collection of 4 AD Cocteau Twins EPs, and this is Echoes in a Shallow Bay from 1983. It's kind of the sister EP to the Tiny Dynamite EP. They both came out, I think, on the same day. But this is just sweeping soundscapes, that gorgeous Liz Fraser vocals. Our vocals on this are elastic and cover different styles across them. Of course, you can't understand a word she's singing, but that's not the point with Elizabeth Fraser and the Cocteau Twins. But these EPs by the Cocteau Twins, kind of the ones between 1982 through to probably 1986, are for me are the cream of their output. They're kind of self-contained EPs. They're not one track and 3 outtakes, one hit in a few songs. They are proper EPs. So yeah, Echoes in a Shallow Bay by the Cocteau Twins, a mint original 4AD pressing of that. And switching it up, continuing my again collection of Rufus featuring Chaka Khan LPs. Ask Rufus. I think this was in 1975 or 1976. But what a fantastic Rufus album this is. By this stage, they really aren't getting along. There is clear tension, allegedly, between Chaka Khan and the rest of the band. It's a pity, actually, because I don't think that much of any of the Chaka Khan solo stuff matches up to the chemistry, the musical chemistry that was obvious on the Rufus LPs, and particularly songs like At Midnight, My Love Will Lift You Up. And the medley here, which is Close the Door, and the Egyptian song, the final tune, absolutely fantastic. Among the best 70s funk soul LPs, up there with your Kool and the Gangs and your Earth, Wind and Fires and your Ohio Players, was Rufus and Chaka Khan, and this was Ask Rufus. Fantastic LP. Switching up styles entirely, and an album that I've been thinking about buying for a while, is Hawwin's live Space Ritual, original UK pressing, on the Cream Universal Artist label, double album, live album, pretty reasonably priced actually, about £35 I think it was that I paid for this in Bridge Records. Absolutely fantastic, an amazing condition from the cover to the actual record, which is the important bit. But yeah, Hawwin, really a quintessential 70s and continuing prog band for me, and this is Space Ritual, which is something that really has been missing from my collection. Let's go back to solo funk and what I consider to be one of the 2 best Philadelphia International Soul label albums for me is Backstabbers by the OJs. Love Train's on here, When the World's at Peace, 992 Arguments, and obviously the title track. But there is not a note wasted on this Gambling Huff album. It's fantastic. It uses Eddie Levatt's voice, amazing soul vocalist, and the harmonies to amazing effect. Everything from the weight of that MFSB orchestral arrangement to the songwriting on the air. To me, the only Philly soul album that gets anywhere close to this is Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody. So if you're going to buy 2, for me, if you're going to buy 2, only buy 2 Philly International Soul albums, buy Backstabbers by the OJs, and I think I've shown it on an earlier video, by Wake Up Everybody by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, featuring obviously the imperious Teddy Pendergrass at his peak on vocals. Let's stick with soul and an LP I've been looking at in Psychotron for a while, and eventually, it's been there for over a year, and eventually I thought, why am I hesitating? I'll go back one day and it won't be there. And this is 1967, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Motown LP, Feeling Bluesy. What a fantastic LP this is. Everyone thinks that Motown 60 stuff is just about the hits, and whether these sorts of albums just kind of snuck under the radar. But this isn't about hits. This is about a really strong collection of soul tunes. It's a UK original pressing, might even be first on a tip-on jacket. Tamla Motown via EMI. The songs on here are fantastic. The choice, The End of Our Road's on here. Your Old Standby, Don't Let Her Take Your Love From Me. Not big hits, but amazing choices and Gladys Knight on this, her voice, and the Pips obviously, but her voice is so great. It's such a mature, gorgeous, deep tone to her voice, and as ever, the Motown backing band, the Funk Brothers, is fantastic. But yeah, pour scorn on the idea that Motown 60s albums before Stevie and Marvin started stretching out are just hits with a few songs added. This is a truly excellent soul LP. So Feeling Bluesy, I think 1967 by Gladys Knight and the Pips, absolutely fantastic. Now when I was in Psychotron, Pete said, I've got a recommendation for you, because he knows I love soul and funk. And there's no way, I would have just passed over this album if he hadn't played it on the record store stereo. And it's by a 1970s US percussionist, drummer and singer, Willie Bobo. and this is a hell of an act to follow by Willie Bobo. What a funky LP this is. It kicks off actually with the track Always There, who certainly UK VC members will be familiar with, because it was originally a Ronnie Laws song, but it was covered by Incognito, featuring Jocelyn Brown in the 90s. So when he put this on, Pete and I were both thinking, where do we know this song? And of course it's Always There. Most familiar to UK VC members as an Incognito. I didn't realise a cover tune actually. But anyway, everything from the kind of horn sections on this, rasping horns, to this female vocal group that he gets to sing across some of it, his own vocals. But particularly this is a very percussive album, and no surprise because Willie Bobo is a drummer, but super funky. So this is hell of an act to follow from, when was this, 1978 I think. Willie Bobo, US import. You don't see this on shelves very much, but I don't think it's an expensive LP either. It's on the CBS US label. So there you go, hell of an act to follow, Willie Bobo. An excellent funk album if you're into that genre. Mix it up again, and really one of those albums again that I should have had in my collection years ago. It's a staple, and that is the 1996 Nuggets Artifacts from 1965 to 68 album, compiled by Lenny K. So everything here from the Chocolate Watch Band to the 13th Floor Elevators, absolutely immense Chrysalis label double compilation from 1996. This one actually was signed by Lenny K. How fantastic is that? On the back there, the compiler, and obviously ex Patti Smith band resident guitarist, but absolutely fantastic. The Nuggets compilation. How could I have had a collection, or pretended to have a collection, without this psychedelic compilation? Classic. We're going to switch it up to jazz funk now, all over the place here, aren't we? And this LP that I found in Psychotron, and again, the beauty of a record store. I love the cover of this Jimmy McGriff album, but I hadn't heard it, so Pete put it on the stereo, and wow, I love organ trio albums. For example, the recent spate on the Coal Mine label of Delvin Lamar Organ Trio and the Paula Greens album. So this is kind of the blueprint from that, from 1972. It's a double Jimmy McGriff album. It's got a full band on here with an orchestra, but essentially the key here is bluesy organ by Jimmy McGriff. And what a fantastic, again, funky jazz record. You know, put this on, and this serves two functions. It's kind of the best background party music you've ever heard, but also something that you can really listen to and get deep into. It's not just background music. So it's Black and Blues on actually a fantastic soul label, the Groove Merchant, 70s soul and funk and jazz label. So Black and Blues 1972 from Jimmy McGriff, a double album. That was £10. Which, considering it's in genuine condition, is an absolute bargain. Last but by no means least, I just picked this up today from Psychotron Records, is a UK street soul LP by Rosalyn Joyce, Love Her Soul. I've streamed this on YouTube because you can't actually, it doesn't look like it's on any of the traditional Spotify or Apple Music streaming services, but it's absolutely fantastic. UK street soul, I would call it. Love Her Soul by Rosalyn Joyce, a UK soul singer. It's quite an 80s production, but in a good way. And what I like about it is it's incredibly authentic. It's not, it's you know, the production is I wouldn't say it was lo-fi, but it's not a high production job. But it comes across, both the songs, her voice, and this kind of street soul sound comes across as incredibly authentic. So I'm really excited about these purchases. That's not the whole lot actually. I've kept some back for a later video because I've bought so much stuff, and there's records arriving today as well. So I might do another upload, another finds upload, a kind of tail end one, or extras over the rest of this long weekend before we get into Friday Night Vinyl again next week. One last plug is that I am on a live stream tomorrow with Chris Mann, and I think I believe the topic is When Britain Rocks, or When Britain Rocked, past tense. So if you want to tune in 8 p.m. UK time on Sunday the 5th of April, I'll be on there with Chris Mann and one or two others in the VC, talking about rock music this time. So with that, fantastic, and thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And in these treacherous times, I wish everybody here peace. Bye.